이번 주에도 돌아온 한국어 영어 팟캐스트 하프앤하프의 정태용입니다. 반갑습니다.
I'm Jeep. Welcome to Half and Half. And we're going to talk about some cool topics today. What topic do you have in mind for us?
네, 이번 시간의 주제는 저희가 같이 골랐죠.
Mhm.
바로 회식 문화 비교입니다.
I think this is really funny because so 회식, I understand the concept. We don't really have exactly that at all. So I think there's going to be a big cultural difference here, actually.
에? 없다고요?
No, yeah, I have some related things that I can talk about. So the way I'm going to translate this is like work social culture, I would call it.
어,
Because I think you also said you want to talk about 모임, right? You want to talk about
맞아요.
group events. Yeah. Okay. So let me explain why we don't have 소식 first of all. So I'll just explain that. So 소식, if we translate it directly, would be like company dinner. We would say company dinner. I know
네,
it's not
회식.
exactly the same.
네.
So company dinner in American culture is not something that happens very often. It would be maybe 2, 3, or 4 times a year, like not very often at all. And it would usually be for a very special reason. So it could be
그렇죠.
for like Christmas or like winter holiday events. It could be because it's like somebody's birthday, or maybe if the company had some special achievement, like they just got a bunch of money or finished a product, or they sold some big contract or something like that. They might, let's go get dinner together. And then they plan a dinner. They'd say like, 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now, we're going to have dinner on this day. Who wants to go? Let's make reservations. And then, they would go. My understanding of 회식 is very, very different from that. So maybe you should talk about it a little.
네.
Yeah, go ahead.
일단 회식은 제 생각에는
Yeah.
그 지프 얘기처럼 두 가지로 나눌 수 있을 것 같은데
Mm-hmm.
한 가지는 회사에서 가는 회식이고
Mm-hmm.
그리고 또 다른 한 가지는 꼭 회사가 아니더라도
Mm-hmm.
예를 들면 뭐 배드민턴, 테니스 동호회 뭐 그런 보드 게임 동호회 그런 모임이
Yes.
있을 수 있잖아요.
Yeah. So I want to talk
네.
about the second one too, but let's talk about the first one. Yeah.
일단
Let's focus
회식
on that.
그러면 이번에
Yeah.
일단은 회식 회사의 회식 문화.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
뭐 요즘 제가 회사 생활을 하는 건 아니기 때문에
Mm-hmm.
딱 지금 2025년 한국의 회사들은 이렇다라고 딱 잘라 말하지는 못하겠지만
Mm-hmm.
보통 자주 있는 편인 것 같고요.
Really?
네. 그리고 그게 회식이라는 게
Mm-hmm.
막 전체 회사 사람들이 다 저녁을 먹으러 가는 것도 있을 수 있는데
Right.
그뿐만이 아니라 그냥 제가 일하는 팀,
Mm-hmm.
제가 일하는 부서, 뭐
Right.
꼭과 이런 데서 가는 회식들이 잦아요.
Right. So usually at work, you have different teams or different groups that work together, and you might do 회식 or company dinner with just your team, not the entire company together, right?
네.
Okay, that makes sense.
네. 보통 보통은 그 이제 뭐 팀장
Mm-hmm.
뭐 이런 윗사람들이 가자 하면은 가는 거고.
Right.
그리고 제가 알기로는 회사에서 그런 회식을 할 수 있게 좀 돈을 주는 곳도 있다고 알고 있거든요.
Wait, do you mean the company pays for it or the employees pay for it?
회사가요.
Okay, the company pays for it.
네.
So that would be like the company dinner that I was talking about, where the company makes the reservations and pays for the food. And, sometimes if it's a lot of people, we'll make all the ordering choices. Like if you go to Italian place, they bring a lot of pasta and everybody shares all the pasta rather than each person ordering an individual thing, right?
아, 그래요?
Yeah. Or it could be like a buffet kind of place, right?
네. 그쵸.
So then it's easier for anybody to get what they want, but you pay one price. But okay, so there's a huge difference with what you said in culture. If if I go get dinner with my team, which like maybe our team gets together and gets dinner, usually it's not the boss or it's not the team leader who organizes it or makes a decision, and sometimes they don't even go.
어.
Yeah. So this is the huge difference in my opinion.
네.
If we go get company dinner, sometimes the team leader might be there, but not always. It might just be everybody, but not the team leader. Because, and I think the reason is because, and maybe it's the same in Korea. Sometimes the people on the team might feel uncomfortable having dinner or drinking, especially drinking, with their team leader, right? Because their personalities might, change, or they might be loud, or they might say something they don't want their boss to hear.
네.
So usually it would be more separate, like just the team, people on the team would go have dinner, not with the team leader. But what I've heard about 회식 is that you always go with the team leader,
네.
and you kind of have to drink with him, and he'll have people drink, and you stay late until he leaves, right? You have to keep staying
아,
late.
그럼요.
Right?
그럼요.
Yeah. So we don't have that style here. Yeah.
그게 참 좋네요.
Yeah. So okay. So this is the other thing I've heard is that like you said, the culture of 회식 kind of changed. Like it
네.
isn't the same that it used to be, or maybe it's a little different. And if I watch, for example, sometimes I'll watch older dramas or I'll watch older Korean sitcom TV shows.
네.
And 회식 is a common scene in those shows where they go and drink with the boss, but it's very miserable. They're not enjoying their time. They're like, they're uncomfortable, or they're sad, or they want to leave, or there's always some problem, right?
네.
And that's with like older dramas. But when I watch a lot of like newer dramas and newer sitcoms, it seems like those situations are not as common because the culture had changed where now people don't do that as much. That's what it seems like from what I've seen.
제 생각에는 그게 어느 정도 사실이에요. 그리고 또 제 개인적인 생각으로는 그런 드라마, 시트콤이 뭐랄까 좀 프로파간다 역할을 할 수 있는 거죠. 아, 요새는 그러지 않아요. 이렇게.
Yeah.
네, 아니 막 TV 틀면 드라마 시트콤에 다 막 회식 무조건 가야 되고 막 마지막까지 남아야 되고 그런 거 막 TV에서 계속 나오면 그게 당연한 줄 알잖아요.
Right.
근데 이제 딱 그런 게 없어지는 그게 안 그러는 게 좋다고 다들 생각을 하니까
Yeah.
드라마에서도 좀 빠지는 게 아닐까 생각이 들어요.
I see. Do you think, okay, so I have questions about this though. Because did the culture change because the people who became bosses didn't like that culture and so they changed it? Or was there a legal change, or like why did it change?
아, 뭐 그런 법적인 막 무슨 정책 같은 건 없었고.
Yeah.
글쎄요. 제 생각엔 아까 지프가 처음 얘기한 그 막 억지로 회식에 참여하는 걸 싫어했던 사람들이 이제는
Yeah.
좀 위에 있는 자리에 가게 돼서
I see.
그렇게 되면서 점점 문화가 좋아진 것 같아요.
I see. So
네.
it's more of a generational thing. A new generation of people became the leaders of companies, and they decided they didn't like that culture, and so maybe they don't have it as much. Yeah.
맞아요.
Okay.
아,
Makes
난 내가 나중에 뭐 팀장, 과장
Right.
이런 거 되면 아, 나는 좀 자유롭게 해줘야지 이렇게 꼭 생각을 하면서 회사를 다닐 수 있잖아요.
Right. Oh, so the other thing that I see in dramas, older dramas and sitcoms all the time is the 노래방, the karaoke we would call it. So I'm a little confused about it because I haven't experienced it. But do you usually go drinking and dinner first and then go to 노래방, or do you go to 노래방 first and then go to dinner? Like how does that work?
아, 일단은 저녁 식사를 하고요.
Okay.
네, 그러면서 술도 마시고
Yeah.
그 다음에 노래방을 가요.
Okay. I see.
아니 요즘도 많이 그러나? 요새 많이 안 그럴 텐데.
Yeah, I think that's changed a lot too.
네.
Okay.
아 근데 가면은 막 노래 부르라고 하면 노래 불러야 되고, 근데 노래 못 부르면 어떡해요?
Yeah,
뭐 어떻게든 불러야 하고.
Yeah, not only do I hate singing, I'm bad at it. So I'm bad and I hate it. So that would be the worst for me. Yeah, yeah.
네.
So
또 노래방에서도 술을 마셔요.
yeah, you drink at the noraebang. I'm gonna say karaoke, even though noraebang in English we call it karaoke. So I'm just gonna say karaoke. But
네. 아, 네.
yeah. So I have a question though. And so I know mostly, I think you've mostly worked independently because you're doing this and you're doing
네.
teaching and things like that. Have you ever had a job where you had to go to 회식 type thing?
있죠. 네.
Oh, okay. So how often would you go? Do you think?
제가 있던 곳은 그 정부 기관
Okay.
그런 곳이라
Mm-hmm.
막 엄청 자주 있지는 않았어요.
Okay, not too often.
뭐 한 두 달에 한 번 정도 느낌이었던 것 같은데.
Once every 2 months.
네.
Oh, okay.
그 정도였고, 근데 그거 말고 그냥 아르바이트 같은 걸 해도
Yeah.
회식을 할 때가 있거든요.
Oh, really? Even for part-time jobs?
네.
Wow. Okay. But were there other people at the same company who were full-time, or was everybody part-time?
아, 아르바이트 할 때요?
Yeah.
다 아르바이트인 곳도 있고,
Yeah.
그런 경우 이제 작은 곳이죠.
Oh, okay.
네, 뭐 작은 가게 뭐 이런 느낌?
Mm-hmm.
네, 그게 아닌 경우에 뭐 저만 아르바이트다.
Yeah.
그리고 다른 직원들은 이제 진짜 그 회사의 직원인 경우.
Yeah.
그런 곳도 있죠.
Okay. Was there ever a time when there was a company dinner and you decided not to go? Like you made a choice, I'm not going tonight.
한 번도 없어요.
It's impossible?
아니 뭐 가능할 것 같은데.
Mm-hmm.
근데 막 좋은 얘기를 듣지는 않을 것 같아요. 저는 해본 적도 없고.
I see.
그리고 또 그렇게 빠지는 사람을 많이 보지도 못했어요. 저는.
Okay, I see.
전부 다 가요. 전부 다.
You really didn't see people skip.
네.
So I think that's another big difference. Like I said, when we have company dinners, they would invite everybody, say, "Hey, who wants to come to this company dinner on this day?" And people could RSVP. RSVP is like yes or no, right? Do you know RSVP?
뭐예요, 그게?
Okay, I'll teach you this phrase. So when you get an invitation, RSVP means tell me yes or no. I'm going or not going.
네.
So you tell the person who invited you yes or no. RSVP comes from French. It's like respond s'il vous plaît. I don't know French, so I might be saying it wrong. Respond s'il vous plaît means please respond. But in English we say RSVP. So yes or no, right?
네.
So people can say yes or no, they're coming. And then if they're coming, they make reservation for everybody who said yes, basically, right? So anyway, people can say no. You aren't required to go, and it's not unusual that people might choose to not go. But I would say people usually say yes because free food.
아, 그렇죠. 저는 사실 그래서 좋아했어요.
Right.
같은 이유로. 네.
Yeah, definitely. I have another question though. Then, so often this is just my experience. It depends, but if we go to a company dinner, they pay for the food, but not the drinks. So individual people
그래요?
have to buy their own. Like if they buy beer or booze would just be like whiskey, vodka,
네,
whatever. Yeah. Often we have to pay for our own drinks, but not the food. How about in Korea? In Haeju?
그렇구나.
Yeah.
아니, 여긴 그냥 다 내요. 회사가.
Oh, really? Even
근데
the drinks?
당연히 같이 하죠.
Okay.
근데 대신
Mm-hmm.
그 아까 얘기했듯이 뭐 저녁 식사를 먼저 다 먹고
Yeah.
그 다음에 노래방을 간다 뭐 이렇게 얘기했잖아요.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
그런 식으로 이 처음 가지는 자리에서만 그 모든 돈을 회사에서 다 내주고
Mm.
뭐 그 다음에 가는 곳은 이제 전부 다 거기 있는 사람들 가는
Sure.
사람들끼리 내고
Okay. Yeah,
그런
that makes
식이에요.
sense too. I see. But yeah, so I think because of that, when we have a company dinner, like some people might order beer or wine, but not everybody. And they might have one or two beers, but not a lot. So it's not I don't think there's a lot of drinking compared to what I've seen for Korean company of dinners. And again, what I've seen is just based on what I see on TV. So I don't know the exact real situation.
근데 제가 경험한 것도 그래요.
Yeah. Okay.
제 경험으로는 사실이에요, 그게.
I see. Yeah. It's the same.
네.
Wow.
네. 그게 막 그렇게 과장된 건 아닌 것 같아요.
I see.
네.
So then the other thing is at my work right now. I'll just mostly talk about where I work right now, but this is also kind of general. We have a lot of different what we call meetups. So meetup would be like a 동호회 kind of
네.
thing. That's a meetup, or that would be a club or something like that.
네, 밀업.
But anyway, one of them is called pub night. Pub
나잇? 네.
Pub night. So pub is a bar, right?
네.
That's like a 술집. So basically once per month, anybody who is in the bar night meetup, which is 5 to 10 people, we pick a bar to go to after work, and we go and we get food and drink, right? Personally, me, I usually have like one beer. Some people have 3 or 4. It depends on the person, right? Everybody pays for their own thing. And like I said before, usually the boss doesn't go. Usually our team leader doesn't go. It's just the people in that group, right?
오. 그러니까 아까 찌프가 얘기한 그 미더에서 펍 나잇을 가지는 거예요?
Yeah. Yeah. And so there's a lot of different reasons to go. Mostly it's a social event. Social
네.
is like talking with people and just, having fun, right? And so it's a very relaxed environment where we can talk and drink, and we try to go to different bars in the town, different pubs, because each pub has like a different atmosphere, or a different
그렇죠.
style of drink or different styles of food. And so we tried different places to, just see what they're like, basically. So I don't know. In some ways, this reminds me a little bit more of 회식 than a company dinner because we're going and drinking.
네.
But again, people can choose to go or not go. It's not mandatory. Yeah, it's not required.
그거는 비슷한 것 같아요.
Uh-huh.
그런 동호회, 모임 이런 회식은 뭐 갈 사람 안 갈 사람 이렇게 얘기를 하는 것 같아요.
Right. Yeah.
네, 근데 회사 회식은 안 물어봐요 그런 거.
Right.
네.
Yeah. So pub night, like in some ways, we could also maybe say it's like similar to 맛집. Like we're going to places where we know the food is good or the drinks are good, something like that. So, yeah.
근데 그래도 미더 모임에서 가는 회식이면 뭐 그런 막 회사 같은 모임은 아니잖아요.
Yeah, it's not. You're right. It's not. But everybody who goes to it works at the same company. So yeah. So I know it's hard to explain. So it's not an official company event, but the people who organize it and the people who go all work at the same company. So
그렇구나.
yeah. So within the company, for example, we use Slack. Slack
네.
is like messaging service. It's like they say
회사에서
단톡방?
쓰는 네.
Yeah. So yeah,
단톡방
exactly.
앱.
Yeah, exactly. So on there, we have different channels, or we have different groups, and those groups will do lots of different things. One of them is going to pub night, basically. So the pub night group is everybody from the company, or everybody in it is from the company. And also their boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, spouse, not their children. But
네.
yeah, so there's a lot of words for this in English. So like I said, wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend. Then we say spouse
네.
or significant other.
네.
Yeah. So all of those, they can come to the event also when we go to the pub night, right?
네네.
Yeah.
아, 그 혹시 모르는 그 구독자분들을 설명해 주자면 significant others는 결혼은 안 했는데 뭐 그 연인 같은 사람인 거죠.
Yes, but also it can also be somebody who is married also.
아, 그렇구나.
That's possible too.
오. 아, 네, 네. 아무튼 네. 그래서요.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, it's more like a meetup event because it's not just company people. And for example, just one more example. There are people who worked at my company previously, worked at our company for 2 or 3, 4 years. We're
네.
friends with them. They went to a different company. They work at a different place now,
오, 네.
but they still come to pub night.
아, 그래도 돼요?
Yeah, yeah.
아, 다른 회사. 오.
Yeah.
그러면 그렇구나. 막 그러면 다른 회사 간 사람이 그 원래 회사 가서 막 우리 회사는 막 이래 막 이렇게 막 얘기할 수도 있겠네요.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, I mean, we don't talk about company things at pub night. We talk about, we talk about some work things, but mostly we talk about just whatever we want, like movies and games and
하긴.
family and, weekend plans and things like that.
아, 하긴 그런 자리에서 일 얘기를 하는 거는
Yeah.
좀 그렇죠. 아, 근데 저는 그 미덥이 회사 안에서 하는 미덥인 줄 몰랐어요. 저는 그냥 뭐 소셜 그룹
Yep. Yeah.
뭐 이런 건 줄 알았는데 그게 아니라 회사 안에서 하는 모임이었네요.
Right. Yeah.
한국은 한국도 뭐 그럴 수 있죠. 회사 안에서 뭐 동호회 뭐 다른 모임 이런 거에서 회식을 많이 하기도 하고.
Sure.
네. 그리고 아예 회사 밖에서 예를 들면 뭐 수영장 학생 모임.
Swimming?
네.
Okay.
수영장 모임.
Okay. Uh-huh.
네. 그리고 아까 얘기했던 뭐 배드민턴, 뭐 테니스 동호회.
Yeah. Yeah.
뭐 그런 스타일의 모임에서도 뭐 이번 달 뭐 저녁 먹읍시다 이렇게 뭐 할 수 있고.
I see. Okay. So just so I understand, when you talk about a swimming club, do you mean people who are swimming for exercise, like trying to be very fast? Or do you mean like swimming just having fun in the water? Or like what kind of swimming?
아, 그 수영이 막
Yeah.
그 자세가 있잖아요.
Yeah.
그래서 그 좋은 자세를 배우는
Okay.
교실이 있어요.
Yes.
네, 그냥 뭐 더 빠르고 더 잘 하려는.
I see. So
그런
learning
반.
swimming skills and trying to go quickly. So more like a sporting type swimming.
그렇죠.
Okay. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so I guess we can talk about that quite a bit. Okay, so as usual, I'm wearing a shirt, right? So
네.
I'll tell you a story about this shirt.
네.
So this is our company, Snowed In. We have a volleyball team. This is the volleyball team shirt. But I'm not on the volleyball team. So let me tell you this story. So we have lots of different small sport teams. Like there's basketball, ping pong, volleyball. Some people play like golf and some people play tennis. There's these different groups, right? So in our city, in Ottawa, there's a very big volleyball event once every year. Where people, I don't know if it's all of Canada or just Ontario province, but people from lots of different cities all come here and they have a volleyball competition. So anybody can make a team and join the competition and play against other teams, right? And so there's 200 or maybe 300 different teams all playing in one big tournament.
진짜 많네요.
Yeah. A lot of people. It's like for 2 days, right?
아니, 와, 그 팀들이 다 토너먼트식으로 해요?
Yeah.
이렇게 쫙 올라가게?
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow.
Each game is, I think, 20 minutes. So they play a 20-minute game, and then the teams switch, and they play a different game, and then, they go toward the top.
그렇게.
Yeah. Okay, so our company has a volleyball team, and there's maybe 8 or 10 people on the team.
네.
Not me. I'm not on the team.
네.
But at the tournament day, they invited people at the company to come watch the tournament, right? You know, come cheer, right?
네.
I think you say 응원. Right?
네, 응원하러. 네, 맞아요.
Yeah. So we went to go cheer the team, right? So me and my wife, we went to. It's on a lake, but there's a beach on the lake, so it's like sandy.
네.
It's like beach volleyball.
네.
So we went to this tournament event, and our team was scheduled to play at 9:00.
네.
At 9:00, the team isn't there.
어? 왜요?
There was like the parking lot, you know.
네.
So on the parking lot, there's like the arms you can go in
네.
and out, right?
네,
The
네.
gate.
네, 문이
It
있죠.
was it was broken. Nobody could park. The parking
네.
was like broken.
네?
And
네?
yeah. And so lots of different people were having trouble parking, and our
네.
team was late. Okay. So 9:00, the game starts, and four people on our team,
네.
they're running up. They go, "Oh no, it's time for the game, right?"
네.
So they run up, and there's 4 people,
네.
and on the other team there's 6 people. So
네.
each team has 6 people at least. So 6 and 4.
네.
They can't start the game because there's
그렇죠.
only 4 people, right? They need
맞아요.
2 more.
사람이 안 맞으니까.
So they point at me
네.
and they point at my wife and they say, "Come on.
네.
Get on the sand." And we're like, "Okay." And so me and my wife, we get on.
네.
And so the team is 4 volleyball players and me and my wife, 6 people.
네.
and I'm going like this. I haven't played volleyball for 20, 30 years. I don't know the rules. I don't know anything.
네, 네.
So we're just standing here like this.
네.
And then the ball's going like this. We're just standing there.
아.
And then one time the ball comes to me. And so I think I went like this. I just went like that, right?
아, 그냥 요렇게만.
Yeah, I just went like
네.
this. It went over and I scored a point. And I was like, yeah, I scored a point.
오, 뭐야? 오.
Yeah. And so then in the game, so there's 6 people, right?
네.
And on the field, there's these different positions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But then they change. So you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then they change.
네.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they keep changing position.
아.
So after 10 minutes, my position changes and I'm serving. So I have to like hit the ball, right?
네.
Serving the ball.
네.
And
처음에 시작하는 거죠.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Like, I asked my team, do I just go like this? Right? He's like, yeah, just hit it. I'm like, okay. So I serve once and it goes over and it scores a point. And I'm like, yeah.
네?
Yeah.
그냥 그렇게요?
Yeah. So I scored 2 points.
뭐야?
And then I serve again and then it fails. It goes into the net. I lose a point. And then maybe a minute later, the other teammates, they finally got parking and the other teammates come. And so then we switch. Me and my wife leave and the real team comes and then we're watching them and playing. So anyway,
네.
they gave me this shirt because I scored 2 points.
오.
And they won that game.
오.
Yeah.
야, 덕분에 찌프 덕분에 이겼네요.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that was my volleyball story, but we have a couple different sports teams and yeah.
근데 그런 미팅, 그런 모임 회식에서도 팀 리더는 자주 빠져요.
No, not often, just sometimes. Like I would say, I don't know, just sometimes. Yeah, yeah.
근데 찌프는 그런 자리 가는 거를 좋아하는 편이에요?
Me being a team leader?
아니요. 회식 자리에 가는 거?
Oh, I like it. I like going because I mean I like socializing and I like making friends or becoming closer with my teammates. So I almost always go. I like going. Yeah. But I will say this. So I get up a little bit early. I wake up early.
네.
And I also go to bed a little bit early.
음.
So when we go to a company dinner or we go to pub night, I'm usually the first person to leave. So I'll have one beer, I'll eat, and then I'll be like, bye everybody, bye. And then I'll go home. And everybody else, they stay out later, but that's not my style.
저도 일찍 일어나거든요. 그리고 일찍 자고.
Yeah. Yeah.
네, 근데 그런 자리 가면 저는 끝까지 가요.
You stay till the end.
네.
Wow.
그냥
Yeah.
다음 날 생각 안 하고.
Oh, I see. I get so tired because like I would if I mean sometimes I would stay out late sometimes,
네.
but if I do that the next day I feel so tired and like my sleep schedule gets really bad and then like I can't work and yeah it's hard.
맞아요.
Yeah.
저도 항상 후회해요. 다음 날에.
Yeah exactly.
네.
But yeah, I don't know. Is there any sports meetups or groups, like company sports meetups that you have done, like, or participated in?
한 번도 없었는데.
Really? Mm-hmm.
네, 한 번도 없었는데
Mm-hmm.
그게 그렇게 많은 편이 아닌 것 같아요. 제가 보기엔.
Mm-hmm.
네, 거의 본 적도 몇 번 없고.
Mm-hmm.
네, 아무래도 회사에서 운동 모임은 아직은 좀 그렇게 막 대중적이지는 않은 것 같아요.
I see. Okay.
네.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, I said a couple of ones that we have, but I just remembered a common one. We had this at my previous company at Valve. We had a bowling group. Yeah, bowling is where you like, throw the ball and hit the pins.
네.
I think bowling groups might be a little bit common, but I'm not sure. But bowling groups, I don't know, it probably depends a lot on the company. For us, we would do bowling on the weekend, not after work. So it would be on the weekend, our maybe 5 or 6 people, we would all go bowling together.
그렇게 주말에 하면 낮에 해요? 아니면 좀 늦은 오후에 해요?
No. Usually, how do I say? In the evening. Oh, yeah. So,
오후 저녁.
Yeah, usually in the evening.
그러면 막 맥주도 막 한 병 하면서.
Yeah.
그렇게 하는구나.
Bowling and beer go together. Yeah, they're pretty common.
왜냐면 저도 찌프처럼 드라마에서 그런 장면을 본 적 있거든요.
Yeah.
네. 막
Yep.
직장 사람들끼리 볼링장 가서.
Definitely. Yeah, I think you would see that in American dramas or quite a bit because it was very common. I think that bowling has maybe gotten less popular like over the years, but it used to be quite popular. Yeah, everybody bowled. Yeah, but then there's some other like kind of, so there's a lot of ways you can say this, like social group is one way we say it. We also say special interest group. So for example, we have movie night and board game night.
네,
I think we already talked a little bit about
보드 게임
board
나이 얘기했죠. 네.
So those we do those after work also. So after work we at the company.
네.
So in the company meeting room because they have a big screen, right? We watch a movie on the big screen. We all watch a movie together. And so we usually will like vote on what movie we want to watch.
네.
And it's often like maybe an older movie, like maybe 10 or 20 years or even 50 years old, like an old movie. Or sometimes a foreign movie, like we watch, some like German or French or we've even watched some Korean movies. So different things like that. So yeah, we watch kind of more unusual type movies, I think. Yeah.
그렇구나. 무슨 그 회사가 아니라 좀 대학교 같아요. 얘기 들어보면.
Yeah, it's kind of like a college. That's true. I agree. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it, but you're right.
네. 한국 회사는 그런 거 많이 없거든요.
Really?
네. 와, 회사에 남아서 회사 사람들이랑 영화를 보고 간다. 그런 거는 없어요.
Really? Okay.
네.
Yeah, and I think it can also depend on the company because, like, you know, our company we make games, we develop games together,
그렇죠.
and as a team, like, you know, we have to work together a lot and understand each other. And like, so for example, before I became a game developer, I was a janitor. Janitor is like person who cleans, right?
네.
So I would clean clean a grocery store, kind of was like my job.
네.
Yeah, and like there was people that I worked with who were also janitors,
네.
maybe 3 or 4 of us, but we never did anything together. Like
그렇죠.
maybe we went to dinner one time, but like maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, we wouldn't watch movies together. So I think it depends on the type of company and the type of people.
맞아요.
Yeah.
근데 글쎄요. 한국 게임 회사에 다니는 친구가 지금은 없는데 그것도 회사가 좀 커야 가능할 것 같아요.
Was that Koya? What?
big. 회사. 네네네.
Okay, yeah.
좀 사람도 좀 많고
Yeah.
네, 공간도 좀 넓어야 그게 가능할 것 같네요.
Right. That's true. It depends on the size of the company, I think. Yeah. And then so yeah, board game night, we talked about it a little bit before, but basically we'll get about maybe 5 to 10 people, and then we'll all play either one game together or kind of split into groups and play 2 or 3 games individually. That's a lot of fun.
그러니까 이 한국에서 생각하는 회식 그런 게 뭐 그냥 그쪽이랑 아예 비교할 게 없네요. 그냥 없어서.
Not comparable because there's nothing like it.
그러니까요. 그냥 없어서 비교가 불가능하네요. 저는 이 생각을 못했는데. 저는 미국인 캐나다인들도 회식 가서 상사가 따라주는 술을 무조건 원샷 해야 할까? 이런 거 그렇게 궁금했거든요.
Yeah, true. The culture is just so different. So another thing we do for food is we have barbecues. So usually we'll do like one summer or one spring barbecue.
네.
Where there's a couple different ways. Like we would go to a park or go to some outside area, and then usually the company would provide food, like provide like hamburgers and hot dogs and maybe fruit and salad or something like that. And then sometimes people bring their own food. It depends on the event. But basically we all just go to the park together and just play a little bit, play like frisbee. Frisbee is like the disc.
이렇게 네.
Yeah, play frisbee or play baseball or something like that, and then and just eat food together and bring our whole families. That would be like whole family event. Bring your children, bring your dog, bring your cat if you want. I don't know. Yeah.
와, 그게 문화가 진짜 다르네요.
Really? You don't have anything like that?
거의 없는 것 같아요.
Okay, I see.
네. 근데 그거를 좀 생각해 보면,
Yeah.
굉장히 가족 중심 문화인 것 같아요. 그쪽은. 그래서 사실 회식이 없는 것도 아니 저녁 당연히 가족이랑 먹어야 하니까. 왜 회사 사람들이랑 저녁을 먹어? 가족이랑 먹어야지. 이렇게 생각하는 거 아니에요?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I think, how do I explain it? It's a good question. Having the company be good to the families also, I think is an important part of being a good company. Like if the company treats not just the employees, but also treats the family very well, then people feel more loyal to that company. They want to work there more because it treats their family well.
아,
And also because so I work at the company and, I have a wife. If my wife meets other people who work at the company and my wife meets other people's family, then they become closer. So those families meet each other and they can become friends that way and maybe do other things. Like, for example, my wife goes to a book club,
오.
not related to the company, completely different. She goes to a book club, but my wife met one of my coworkers' wife. She met
오,
his wife.
네. 네.
And now they go to that book club together. I don't go. My coworker doesn't go, but our wives, they go together to a separate meetup, right? So yeah, I think it's just a good way to get to know people and make friends, and I think it's a good culture. So that's why families are probably invited. Is it just makes better like social experiences, makes the company feel nicer.
그렇게 그 가족을 위한 시간을 많이 주고 그리고 또 가족을 가끔은 그렇게 초대해서 시간을 보내게 하고
Yeah.
그렇게 함으로써 직원이 회사에 더 열심히 충성할 수 있다 이 생각이잖아요.
I think so.
야, 진짜 그거에 같은 목적이지만 정반대로 하는 게 그 한국의 그런 회식 문화예요. 가족과
So wait. It's the same goal but completely opposite method. Is what you're saying?
목표도 조금 다르구나.
Oh, okay.
네, 그러니까 가족과 떨어뜨려 놓고 그 회사에 붙잡아 놓고 그리고 회사 사람들과 시간을 많이 보내게 하고 그렇게 회사 사람들과 밥을 먹고 술을 마시고 회사 사람들과 가족이 되는.
I see. So you separate the workers from their family so that the company is their family.
그렇죠,
and so they
그렇죠.
have no choice but to work hard at the company because that is their
그렇죠.
family now.
네, 맞습니다.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
네.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this before also, but work-life balance, it's very, very important in USA, especially more important in Canada. It's like very, very important in Canada. So, yeah.
근데
Yeah.
우리가 회식 얘기는 안 했지만
Okay.
저번에 포탈 AMA 에피소드에서
Yeah.
찌프의 회사는 그 실제로 그 노 크런치 문화를 잘 한다고 했잖아요.
Yes, that's right.
네, 근데 또 그때 얘기하면서 그리고 카트리나가 댓글 단 것도 그렇게 진짜 노 크런치 문화 그렇게 막 야근과 막 그렇게 막 열심히 하는 문화가 없는 회사가 있다니 이렇게 댓글을 다른 걸 보니까 사실은 그렇게 막 회사에서 엄청난 노력과 이 야근과 그런 많은 일을 하게 하는 그런 크런치 문화가 많다고 생각을 했거든요.
There is a lot of companies that have crunch. That's true. It kind of depends on the type of business. I think it's more common in game development or tech development. So yeah, I think it's sort of unusual that our company has a no crunch policy. But yeah, it's interesting because there's a lot of they do scientific study or scientific research about crunch.
네.
And if it's effective or good or bad, basically.
네.
And doing crunch for a very short amount of time, like maybe 1 week,
네.
can be effective. Like it can, people working very hard for 1 week, you actually get very good results. But if you crunch for a long time, like 3 weeks or 10 weeks or 20 weeks, like a very long time, the results start getting much, much, much worse because people are tired and they make mistakes and they, don't want to work or all these other things, right? And so companies that do crunch very often or for a long time, the results are actually worse than if they didn't do crunch, right?
아, 그래요.
Yeah. So if you look at that research in terms of just a business and in terms of results, it makes sense to not do crunch. But also it's more healthy, right? It's good for us to not work so hard. So,
맞아요. 아,
Yeah.
그렇구나.
yeah.
그래서 그 크런치 얘기를 왜 꺼냈냐면
Mhm.
그 크런치 문화가 진짜 그 업무에 관련된 거잖아요.
Yeah.
그 일에 관련된 거잖아요.
Right.
근데 이제 딱 생각해 보세요. 그 크런치 그 문화에서
Mhm.
그러니까 그 일적인 크런치에서
Mhm.
그 문화적인 크런치
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
이 정신적인 멘탈적인 크런치
Yeah.
그리고 그 인간관계 릴레이셔널 크런치 거기까지 가면 이제 회식 문화가 되는 거예요.
That's a really good point. And actually I think you're totally right because in the cases where I have done crunch like
네.
like at my previous companies and things like that, when we're all working like very hard or working late hours, with everybody, we would get lunch together and then continue working, and you keep working late, and now it's time for dinner, right? And you're hungry, so you're like, okay, we need to get some food because like we can't keep working without food, and so either we would go get dinner together and then come back to the office and keep working, or we would order pizza or order food like delivery to the office.
네.
And so somebody would say, "Hey, I'm going to order pizza. What kind of pizza do you want?" They would ask everybody, "What pizza? What pizza? What pizza?" They'd make an order. All the pizza would come up. We'd stop working. We'd go eat pizza, and then we'd go back to our desks and work
네.
again, right?
네.
And so when there is crunch, or when there was crunch, eating dinner and maybe drinking with the people at your company was much more common. I think you're right.
네.
Yeah, if you leave before dinner, then you go eat dinner with your family.
그렇죠.
But if you're going to keep working, then you eat dinner with your company family, your new family at your company.
네.
So,
그러니까요. 그러니까요.
Yeah. I think you're right.
네. 그래서 제가 얘기할 거라 생각했던
Yeah.
그 작은 이야기들 중에 하나가 막 회식을 하잖아요. 그러면 막 술을 마시잖아요. 그러면은 막 나이 많은 그 보스 같은 사람들이
Right.
막 젊은 직원들한테 막 얘기를 해요. 막 결혼은 했냐? 결혼할 사람 있냐? 뭐 결혼 언제 할 거냐? 뭐 했다 그러면
Oh, really?
그러면 아기는 낳았냐? 막 그렇게 얘기를 해요.
Oh, yeah.
진짜,
you need to
진짜-
get married. You need to have kids. Yeah.
네, 그래요.
Yeah, I don't know.
그러니까 이 회사가 가족이 되게 하는 거예요.
Right. Yeah, I see. What you mean.
네. 근데 어떻게 생각해요? 그러면 어떨 것 같아요? 지프는.
Oh, if people said, I mean, so in our culture, like it's pretty rude to talk to people that way, to like tell them you need to get married or you need to have kids, or when are you getting married? When are you having kids? So it doesn't happen often. But so I don't have any children. I don't have any kids. I don't have any plans to have any kids. I don't think I will ever have kids. But sometimes people ask me, "Oh, do you have kids?" or "When are you having kids?" And I'm just very honest. I just say, "Yeah, I actually don't want kids. Like, I'm okay."
네.
And they'll say, "Oh, but why not? Like, they're so cute." And I'm like, "Well, I have nieces and nephews. I go visit my nieces and nephews. I have fun with them,
네.
and then I go home. I don't need to take care of them. I don't need to feed them. I can just have fun with them, right?" So-
그 정도면 뭐 네.
So I don't know. So yeah, when people would ask questions like that, like I was usually just honest. I'd say I just don't want kids.
네. 근데 이제
Yeah.
한국의 회식에서는 그렇게 대답할 수 없어요.
You couldn't say that?
네.
What would you say then?
그러면 네, 해야죠. 네, 뭐 이렇게 하거나 그 제가 결혼하고 싶은데 와, 저 좋다고 하는 사람이 없네요. 막 하하하 막 이렇게 네, 그렇게 해야죠. 예.
Still, in English, we would say like, I'm still looking for the right one. The right one would be somebody to marry. I'm still looking for the right one. Yeah.
네, 네. 아,
I see.
네, 그렇습니다. 그리고 진짜 술도 따라주면 다 마셔야 되고.
Right.
네.
Yeah. Yeah. So then the only other thing I was thinking about for this was that we have so at our company we have a group, a social group called Experimental Branch.
뭐예요 그게?
I'll try and explain it. Yeah. So it's a programming term. It's not a common phrase. In programming, this might be too technical.
네.
In programming, when we write code,
네.
we're all writing code together in the
네.
same project, right? But sometimes we make a branch, what we call a branch. So some people are writing code this direction, and some people are writing code this direction. We go in two different directions. And after you write some code, if it's good, then you combine it back. We say combine.
네.
So we branch, and then we merge the branches,
네.
right? Branch, then merge. So if we do this branch, we sometimes call it experimental branch. Experimental is like just trying something. Like I have an idea. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, but I want to try
네.
coding in this branch, experimental branch. So our group, experimental branch, what we do is we try new activities.
네.
So for example, in Canada, there's a sport called curling. Curling is where you throw the thing, right?
네.
It is popular in Canada, but a lot of people have never tried curling. Like it's not everybody tries it. So the experimental branch said, "Oh, let's go try curling. We'll go to a curling class or go to a curling event and try it just one time." And so we do that. Or last weekend, actually, my wife wanted to try rafting, like riding on a boat and like
네,
paddling,
래프팅?
right?
네.
Rafting. And so we said, who wants to try rafting? And 3 or 4 other people said, oh, we'll go rafting. And so we all
네.
went rafting together.
네.
And then like another example is like if there is like a concert, like actually last weekend I didn't go, but last weekend Blackpink, the Korean
오.
band, they
우와.
went to Toronto last week.
네, 네.
And so for experimental branch, somebody says, I want to drive to Toronto, go to Blackpink concert. Does anybody want to come with me?
오.
And so a few people went to the Blackpink concert. So we have that type of thing where people will try new types of activities together as a group.
좋은데요?
Yeah, it's really nice.
네,
It's nice.
진짜 좋은 것 같아요. 와.
Yeah. But I don't know. Is there anything like that in Korea where people at the same company will try a new group activity together? Like even like maybe like cooking class or like making pottery or something like that?
그게 그 회사원들끼리 그냥 알아서 만드는 모임인 거예요? 막 회사에서 뭐 따로 지원을 받거나 뭐 회사에서 만들라고 하는 건 아니죠.
Yeah. That's right.
그냥 회사 다니는 사람들이 자기들끼리
Yes.
모임을 만드는 거 그런 거는 있을 수 있죠.
Oh, really? Uh-huh.
있을 수는 있는데 근데 그것도 흔하지는 않은 것 같아요.
Yeah, not common, right?
네, 거의 저는 실제로 본 적은 한 번도 없어요.
I see. Yeah.
네.
I mean, the things that I'm talking about, I think, are not very common, maybe once or twice a year, like sort of special events or ideas. But yeah, I don't know. A couple months ago, actually, there was a kimchi making class, like a kimchi cooking class. And so
별걸 다
me, my wife, and one coworker, just 3 of us, we all went and we learned how to make kimchi. It was actually pek kimchi, so in English we call it white kimchi. But yeah,
네.
Yeah, it was fun.
이번 에피소드에서는 그 회식보다는 그냥 회사 동아리 얘기를
Yeah.
더 많이 한 것 같네요.
Yeah.
왜냐면은 미국에는 회식이 없기 때문에.
Yeah, exactly. Because if we just talk about Oasis with American culture, I mean, there's like 2 minutes of saying there is none. Like, there's similar things and maybe related things, but there's nothing exactly like that. It's pretty different. Yeah. So yeah.
그렇구나. 근데 지프. 네.
I just remembered something.
네, 뭐예요?
So related to the things that that I had talked about, more like meetups and groups and social events. Korea has something that we don't. You have imti.
MT.
Imti. Yeah, we don't have that.
네, MT. 오.
So that's kind of similar to some of these things, right?
맞아요. 예.
Yeah.
MT가 뭐의 약자였더라? 아, 까먹었다. 무슨 트레이닝이라고 했는데.
Membership training.
아, 맞다. 맞아요.
Right, but that's not an English phrase. That's Konglish. But yeah.
그러니까 참 이상해요.
Is it weird? I think it's cool. It sounds really cool.
아, 그래요?
Honestly. Yeah, I think it's
아니 그 제 말은 그 멤버십 트레이닝이라는 단어가.
Oh, the phrase. Yeah, the phrase is weird. Yeah.
그렇죠.
Yeah.
아 근데 뭐 MT 뭐 좋죠. 예, 저는 뭐 그런 자리 사실 그렇게 막 싫어하지 않아서 전 재밌다고 생각해서. 예. 네. 그리고 또 저는 프리 생활을 너무 많이 해서
Yeah.
가끔 그런 게 그리워요.
You miss it.
네, 가끔 그리워요. 네.
Okay, so is it mostly just younger people who do MT, or would older people, like if they joined a new company, would they also go?
그런 오래된 사람들은 많이 안 가요.
Okay.
아 근데 가는 사람이 있죠.
Sometimes. Okay.
네, 가긴 가죠. 안 가는 게 좋은 것 같은데.
I see.
네, 근데 참 좀 그렇게 좀 새로운 사람들이 만나고 싶은가 봐요. 네, 또 심심한가 봐요. 그런 사람들이 다.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I think the closest thing we have to MT we would call company retreat. Company retreat. It's a little bit similar, I think, but I think there's also quite a bit of differences. So yeah.
그렇구나. 리트릿은 소풍 같은 거 아니에요?
No, because 소풍 would be picnic.
네. 아니에요?
So the retreat, if you say retreat, it means, if for company retreat, it means that you will go to either a hotel or a resort or camping, someplace, and you'll stay there at least one night. but maybe a few nights.
MT랑 비슷한데요, 그러면?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's somewhat similar. The difference is MT, from my understanding, MT is for like new employees or newer people.
네, 맞아요.
Company retreat is usually for people who've been at a company for a very long time. Like they've been at the company 10, 15, or 20 years. Those people will go to a place. It's like a vacation, but like together as a group to both relax, like have a vacation, but also to think about the company and think about new ideas for the company. Maybe do a little bit of work together also.
오.
Yeah. So I don't know.
아, 느낌이 많이 다르네요. 그러면.
Yeah, I think so. And you probably wouldn't do much drinking, like where MT I think has a lot of drinking.
그렇죠. 소주를 그렇게 박스째로 들고 가서.
That's awesome. I love that.
네, 참 맞아요. 또 그런 그런 익스트림한 재미가 있어요.
That's great.
네. 그렇네. 근데 찌프는 한국에도 몇 번 와보지 않았어요?
I've come to Korea 4 times.
그렇죠. 그리고 또 그냥 여행 목적이 아니라 그 와서 무슨 행사 같은 것도 참여하고 또 또 한국 회사도 여러 번 만나보지 않았어요?
It's a good question. So the first time was just a vacation and visiting friends, visiting lots of friends. The second time I went to a wedding and a funeral and also visited friends. The third time I went to Isora concert and also I went to Indie Game Festival. It was a very, very short trip. So a little bit vacation, but kind of going to the concert and the festival. And then the fourth time was also very short. It was just a game conference. It was more like work because I was at the conference for 3 days. And then I only had like 1 or 2 days of vacation. And while I was at the game convention, I did a lot of interviews. I met lots and lots of different game companies, and I visited a few game companies, like went to their office and played games there. So it was more like a business trip.
다음에 또 그런 기회가 있으면 좀 기회가 되면 그 거기 회식에 좀 껴달라고 한번 해보세요.
If I go to Korea, I could try going to a 회식 to experience it myself.
네.
That's a great idea. I've never done that. Yeah.
컨퍼런스나 뭐 게임 페스티벌 이런 거 하면
Yeah.
막 다들 뭐 발표하거나 막 뭐 그런 이벤트 하고 회식할 거 아니에요.
That's a great idea. Actually, the time that I went to the Indie Game Festival, at the end of the day, they invited me to come to dinner. Like there was a few people who invited me, but I already had plans to meet a friend that I had to go to meet my friend, so I couldn't do it. But yeah, I think that could definitely happen sometime. That would be really fun.
그렇죠.
Yeah.
네. 물론 그래도 게임 회사라.
Yeah.
그 전형적인 그 한국 회사 회식이랑은 좀 다를 수 있는데. 근데 뭐 그래도 회식이니까.
True. Yeah,
네.
that's true.
네.
Okay.
가면 그 팀장이랑 같이 술을 마시는 팀원들의 그 분위기가 어떤지.
Oh my God. I'm going to have to be very careful. I'm going to learn. Because Koreans are prepared for the situation. They maybe know how to respond or how to answer. I won't know what's happening. I'll just be surprised. But I don't know. At the same time, since I don't work there, if I say something wrong or say something bad, there's no consequences for me. There's no big problem. So
그렇죠.
I might be okay.
네, 괜찮을 거예요.
It'd be a good experience. I would like to do that sometime.
네, 추천합니다.
Yeah. So if anybody out there wants to invite me to 회식 when I'm in Korea, I would love to come have dinner with you. That would be great.
그래요.
Love to drink with you.
네.
Yeah. Okay.
네, 그래요. 참. 그러면 또 1시간 정도 얘기를 했기 때문에
Yeah.
오늘은 이쯤에서 마무리를 해볼까요?
Yeah. Let's wrap up.
네. 참. 미국, 캐나다에는 한국과 같은 회식 문화가 없기 때문에 네, 이번에는 뭐 그렇게 많은 얘기를 하지는 못했지만
Yeah.
네, 그래도 재밌는 얘기를 많이 했습니다.
Yep. Yeah, so even the culture was very different, so I didn't have a lot to say about 회식, but yeah, we still, I think, had a good conversation about some cultural things, and especially group meetings, social groups, meetups, and things like that. So yeah, it was fun. Okay, cool.
네, 그렇습니다. 그러면은 또 저희는 항상 새로운 주제를 찾느라 바쁘니까요. 또 언제든지 주제 추천해 주시면 정말 감사드리겠고요.
Yeah, let us know if you have suggestions for topics.
네.
Go ahead.
그리고 이제 가끔씩 그 한국어, 영어 이게 둘 다 하니까 우리가 자막이 있으면 좋을 것 같다는 피드백이 들어오고 있습니다. 그런데 저도 그러면 너무 좋을 것 같은데 아직 그거를 AI 같은 툴로 할 수 없더라고요. 기술이 없어요. 그러니까 전체 한국어 대화나 전체 영어 대화는 그 AI가 자동으로 읽어서 좀 제가 수정을 하면 자막을 만들기가 그래도 가능하거든요. 근데 한국어 했다 영어 했다가 한국어 했다 영어 했다가 하면 그거를 AI가 그 자막으로 못 써주더라고요.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed this too. Is that if you have AI do the transcript or do the subtitles, if it's all Korean or all English, it does okay. It maybe needs a few corrections. But if you mix English and Korean, it completely fails. Like it just cannot figure out what's happening. It's really frustrating that the AI can't really make subtitles for us like that. Yeah.
네, 그러니까요.
Yeah.
그래서 한국어 영어 자막을 만들 수 있는 유일한 방법이 하나 있는데 그거는 제가 직접 쓰는 거 말고요.
Yeah.
그거 말고.
It'd take a long time.
네네. 다른 유일한 방법이 하나 있는데 그거는 그 속기사라고 하는 사람들 알아요? 속기사?
Yeah. I've never heard that word, but I can guess what you mean is it's usually in legal courts. The person who types is a stenographer. We call it stenographer.
처음 들어봐요.
Yeah.
Stenographer?
Stenographer. I don't know where the word comes from, but it's a very complicated legal word. But stenographer, yeah.
아무튼 그걸 속기사라고 하는데.
Yeah.
그래서 이거를 그 한국어 속기사 선생님한테 한번 맡기고 그 다음에 영어 속기사한테 한번 맡기는 거죠.
Sure.
근데 그러려면 돈이 많이 듭니다.
Yeah, it'd be expensive.
네, 그렇기 때문에 제발 여러분들이 저희 팟캐스트를 많이 홍보해 주시고 또 많이 들어주시고 해서 만약에 우리 팟캐스트가 잘 돼서 뭐 광고도 들어오거나 좀 돈을 번다 우리가 팟캐스트로 그러면 한국어 영어 자막도 달 수 있습니다.
That's right. Yeah. So if this podcast gets really popular, share it to all your friends, share it with everybody you know. If it gets popular enough and has advertisements that bring in a little bit of money, we can use that money to make subtitles. Yeah.
네, 저도 광고 같은 거 한번 해보고 싶어요.
Yeah.
재밌을 것 같아요. 네, 그게 아니라면 이런 이 한국어 영어 이 크로스오버 컨버세이션 크로스톡 같은 것의 가치를 아주 높게 평가해주는 이런 크로스톡의 가치를 아주 좋게 생각해주는 뭐라고 그러죠? 페이트리온 후원하는 사람 그런 사람이라도 있던가 그러면 되는데 네, 저희가 열심히 하겠습니다.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Maybe in the future.
네. 그러면은 어쨌든 저희가 가능하게 되면 바로 최대한 빨리 영어 한국어 자막을 마련해 보겠습니다. 그 전까지는 저희가 말을 좀 더 쉽게 하던지 네, 이해를 좀 높일 수 있게 좀 연습을 잘 해보겠습니다.
Yep, that's right.
네. 그러면 저희는 또 다음 주에 유익하고 흥미로운 내용으로 돌아오겠고요. 네, 저는 이때까지 한국어 영어 팟캐스트 하프앤하프의 정태웅이었습니다. 감사합니다.
I'm Jeep. You've been listening to Half and Half, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.